Any woman that would choose a man over her child is absolutely raggedy. That is shameful. And we saw that with 2 John and LaDonna. What's up, y'all? Welcome to Lawrence Report to talk about my review of Alex Cross, episode 7. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, like, and please not forget to comment. Let's talk about Alex Cross, episode 7. Yes, I'm sorry. I gotta call it out. I gotta call it out. That is absolutely disgraceful. How are you talking about? What are you talking about when you say, "Oh, we've been building, son"? What? We're gonna start off with we're gonna start off with 2 John. I can't even talk right now. That's how fired up I am. I can't even talk. We're gonna start off with 2 John, aka John. We know that LaDonna has been telling stories about TK. In fact, she knows TK very, very well. You know why? Because they've been on again, off again. This man right here, TK, has basically been living with her. He's been in and out of the picture the entire time. For John, to John, he also earlier had to confront Nana, right? Nana says, listen, I told one lie, but your mother would have kept telling you several lies that are breaking your heart. And it turns out that the entire time while John was growing up, the mother was right there in the neighborhood. That's even more heartbreak for him. Then he said he felt like he had to prove himself to his adopted family. My heart was breaking for my guy, to John. Keep like that is horrible. That is like so bad. And then your mother, she says, you know what? I'll just say I did it. Even though John says, I may can get you off. You willing to take a bad deal for a man? You claim you was trying to build a relationship with your son. That's not building a relationship. You're still choosing that man again and again over your son. I'm glad they gave to John this story. He was able to wrap it up, I think so. And now we gotta get his mother on out of here. No, and then one of the things I love so much that two John they say, "Oh no, he's gonna do the time. He's gonna do the time. I'm gonna make sure that he do the time." That was one of my favorite lines right there from John. But let's carry on, y'all. Now, when it comes to this entire group of billionaires, right? There's about 4 of them left, and they all got a death sentence coming to them. But the next one in line is Nuri, right? Nuri's gonna be next one in line. And also, let me talk about this right here. We know Kayla, she ended up getting a promotion, but she didn't want a promotion because her main focus is mastermind. And we end up finding out that mastermind is Margaret, right? So of course, Bobby Trey ends up going after Margaret. We saw that in the end game, right? On the final couple minutes of the episode. Now, also the confrontation between Cross, right? Cross also kind of gets a promotion. It's like, yo, you're going to be the lead dog. But Cross also mentions that I don't mind playing second fiddle, right? I don't mind playing second fiddle, even though I do kind of love the spotlight. Now, the tension between him and Kayla is so chaotic right now. Like, I don't know what's going on between them two. I'm hoping in this final episode, she will eventually tell him the truth about what's been going on with her, right? Now, like I said before, we know that's down to these 4, and it comes down to Nuri. Nuri is going to be next in line. But Rebecca, aka Luz, she tells them whenever they're all in a mansion together, like, yo, I need y'all to confess, and I need this money, right? But Lance Duran, he's like, no, 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 we ain't confessing. We ain't giving up no money. None of that right there, right? And the other guy, Stouffer, we saw him later have that conversation with Luz. He's like, listen, I got this tape. This is, of course, when Nuri ends up dying because, she had like that peacemaker, and Rebecca, okay, Luz was like, listen, she was giving her this whole little, I guess you could say, little riddle me this, riddle me that. When it comes to her and that peacemaker, she ends up dying. And Stouffer tells Lance, listen, we're going to confess. We're going to give her what she wants. Lance says basically, over my dead body, literally, right? Him and Stouffer, they get into it. It's a big fight, right? That is when Lance Duran ends up killing one of his friends, one of his billionaire partners, loses right there. She's listening to the entire thing goes down, right? Because we know she basically I was wondering how she thought that this was going to happen. She didn't think it was going to happen like that, but somehow, some way, it went down in the worst way. And this man tried to frame Lutz. We saw him cut those fingers, but unfortunately, when crossing them arrived to the scene, they realized that the fingers was kind of jagged, right? Like it wasn't cut the way Lutz really usually does it. So now, with him trying to frame Rebecca, Cross realizes that it wasn't her. Somebody else did that right there. And of course, we got to talk about that infamous tape. Now, we know with the tape, right? There's a confession up there that's very, very important. Has a lot of key information on that tape. Apparently, the tape is at a old person home, right? In one of the books, and that's when Donnie goes after the tape. He discovers the tape, only for Cross and to John to be there as well. There's a big shootout that's getting ready to happen. And then that's when it goes bad. As the shootout is going on, Donnie escapes. Donnie's like, woo, okay, cool. I got the tape. Everything's okay. Well, that's what we thought. But unfortunately, Donnie is met in the woods with Claire. Claire tells him, you've been a good friend to her, but I cannot let you give her that tape. She ends up killing him, point blank, period, with the tape in his hand. He's out of here. RP Donnie, he was completely gone. We saw him escape Cross, but he could not escape that one last bullet. Claire goes back to Rebecca. Rebecca asks, where's Donnie? She says, Cross killed him. And that's when we know Rebecca is about to go on a rampage. That tape has some very important, liable information that Claire didn't want to get out to Rebecca because it could have drove Rebecca even closer to the deep end because we saw Rebecca end up killing that other lady, right? Who actually made that device for her. She did that. She killed her in cold blood. Can you imagine when she found out everything that's on this tape about these confessions and all that? It really could go down from there. And of course, like I said at the end, Bobby Trey is about to go at the mastermind, and that's how the episode ends. It's crazy and it's hard to believe that we only have one episode left of Alex Cross. And I'm wondering how in the world they're going to tie all of these strings, these final bows, this final bow together, right? Duran is left. That other billionaire is left as well. I forgot her name, but she's left. Kayla, Mastermind. Cross, Two John, L, like Nana Mama. It's a lot. It's a lot that I think is left on the table. I hope the final episode is not rushed. For some reason, I feel like this episode, not this episode, but this season, and I know it's only 8, but I think 10 episodes probably would have flushed it out even more. But then again, I could be wrong. We still have to see what episode 8 will have, y'all. That's my thoughts. Please comment below. And as always, thank you for tuning into the Lawrence Report.